Welcome back. This is Doug and Pete, and we're here today to view and react to the season finale of The Mandalorian Season 3. It's been a really good season. I think, Pete, do you want to just go through your highlights, mate?
Yep. Well, it has been a really interesting season. As they progress from season 1, 2, and 3. I think at the start of this one we saw Mando going back to his people and finding out if he can redeem himself, like confirm before he actually goes to do it. Um, so that was interesting because he ends up bringing a piece back that which they don't explain. He's got this piece from someone from Mandalore to state that they've been there and that it's okay. So what gets me is it's a whole big thing that everybody knows that Mandalore is either cursed or there's something wrong with it, so you can't go there. Something wrong with the actual planet itself.
Yeah, they do say that a lot, don't they?
Yet there's been no news that someone's been there, but someone's been there because he's got a piece that you don't know who's got it from.
Yeah, that's right. And like you say, it never really gets explained. He just uses it to prove to um to his what they call him. Yeah, he uses it to prove to the armorer that Mandalore isn't poisonous, that people can go there, and that he can go and hopefully find the living waters and redeem himself.
Yeah, I mean, after that, there's not an awful lot that actually happens if you think about it in season 3. There's literally just a few key locations. It's either Coruscant, Navarro, where they're holding out, where Issek's holding out, and other than that additional planet where Bo-Katan goes to find her fleet, it's pretty much just like 4 or 5 locations that the whole thing's set in so far.
Yeah, it seems to be them realizing that the Mandalorians need to come back together, and how he gets back in with his group and bringing Bo-Katan and hers into the same one to fight for a common cause, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the build-ups for me has definitely been epic. I mean, going back to Mandalore, and if the fact that if they actually do survive on the next episode and get Mandalore and keep it, what's it going to mean? Obviously, in the future of the Mandalorians being in anything. I mean, you'd assume they'll succeed, and there's going to be, they're going to keep Mandalore. But what's going to come out of it next? Because obviously, all the later films that have been released, this period of time's already passed.
Yes.
So, but you don't hear anything, and it's not in any of the films. So, have they survived? Are they rebuilding? What?
Well, I guess the thing is, in the three newest movies, the latest trilogy, it's very much focused on the Jedi's, isn't it? And the First Order. So if the Mandalorians took back Mandalore, killed Moff Gideon, maybe it was decided just to leave them. I can't imagine that they would leave them alone, but maybe it was just decided just to ignore them and let them do whatever they want to do, and they've just kept themselves to themselves, like you say, rebuilding. Because there's only like, what is it, about 50 years between the original trilogy and the newest trilogy. So I guess it's possible that they've just kept themselves to themselves and nothing's come of it. I mean, it's the whole universe, isn't it? At the end of the day, Star Wars. It's not just they're not the movies aren't telling the whole story. They're just telling a specific set of stories.
No, but I mean, it also makes you think because it's not just the Mandalorians. I mean, because obviously you've got Ahsoka coming out, and that she's already been in the Mandalorian. You've also got who she's after, and you've got Thrawn, which you already announced on the other video that they've announced who Thrawn's going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was a major part of the Empire.
Sorry, he was mentioned at the start of this episode, wasn't he? Sorry, the last one, episode 8.
It's on one of the last ones. Yeah, the talk of him actually emerging and coming back.
Yeah, they mentioned him, don't
and joining them, which they've classified themselves as the Shadow Council.
they?
Um, but like I say, in the films, because they're actually part of the Empire, and it's always in the major films, it's always about the Jedi, the Sith, and the Republic and the Empire Warfront, where we've talked about Andor and the other ones, they're more like you just said, individual stories, either industry or the people that have been left from previous things. And then this one, obviously, the Mandalorians. It's yeah, you say you don't see them in the films. Like obviously, there's no mention of Moff Gideon, no mention of Thrawn. The Shadow Council members don't seem to have appeared in the films, not that I remember. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the characters merge together with their plans and in the story plot of the films that have already come out.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere, and I think it's sort of along the right lines that everything that's happened in the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett, and all that sort of stuff, they're all going to have to converge at some point. Probably with that Dave Filoni movie that's coming out. And yeah, you're right. All of these major players, Moff Gideon, Thrawn, Grogu potentially, and some of the other key Mandalorian characters are essentially either going to have to be killed off, or a reasonable explanation as to why they're never mentioned again.
Well, at least in the movies, yeah.
Yeah, but can't remember where I was reading it, but they were saying basically if Grogu was still alive in the latest set of movies, why was he never mentioned? Do you know what I mean? He'd be ridiculously powerful at that point, so you'd have thought a Jedi of that power would have been involved. I know, like I say, he's probably somewhere else, but we don't know. Do we?
Oh, and possibly. I mean, like when he was younger, obviously, because he escaped Order 66, and you see the clips of him as a real small youngling in the Jedi temple, being protected and then escorted out. Obviously, he's been kept under secrecy because obviously he'd be hunted by the Empire. So you don't want to. It's a bit like Luke hiding out.
That's true. Actually, yeah, they didn't know about Luke, did they?
And Obi-Wan hiding out to watch Luke on Tatooine, because they're all being hunted. And then obviously in the Obi-Wan episodes, you see all the other Jedi doing something or hiding out, but they're still being hunted. And then you see all those lightsabers.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's still happening. So, but then at that point, because the Empire's still around, is he still hiding for future reference?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe that's what's happening. They've got to do something with this new movie. It's set 15 years after the new trilogy, so maybe all of these characters were just in hiding for 10 years or whatever the newest trilogy spanned, and then they're going to reappear. I don't know. We don't know, do we?
It'd be interesting to see how they do it, though.
Yeah. In terms of this current season, I think the wrap up's got to be something. I mean, Moff Gideon's been the bad guy for 3 seasons now, and he sort of keeps coming back. So is it time for them to kill him off? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. He has ended up being caught and then rescued. It's a good episode where you see that shuttle in space, and you find out that the Republic sees a part of Beskar stuck in the wall, and then obviously you're assuming, well, the Empire has got Beskar, so why has he been saved or taken by the Mandalorians?
Yeah, but was he already working on this stuff? Did he already have a base on Mandalore, and actually it was his own troops that dropped the Beskar?
So obviously he's been extracted by that, which I'd completely forgot about. Uh, that scene until the last episode, when obviously you realise where the Beskar came from.
Yeah. Yeah, and this season there's been cameos, hasn't there? There's been a lot of characters coming back. We had the Jedi. Ahmed Best was in episode in the Foundling episode where you see him saving Grogu, and he is the voice actor for Jar Jar Binks. So they brought him back and made him a Jedi,
Right.
which is pretty cool. There's been obviously Jack Black and Lizzo was in the episode where they were like royalty. There's been Doc Brown was in it.
Yep. Good to see him.
So many more that I can't even recall right now, but the cameos have been insane, and it's just showing the power of Star Wars that these actors will come in and do these things for them and add to the story. I think we were saying earlier, for me, like the pirates, it's great seeing stuff like that. Like in the bigger picture of things, we don't know if it matters or not yet, but it was an opportunity for. It was Din Djarin and Bo-Katan came and fought off the pirates, and it just brought them closer together, I suppose, and it meant you could have that piece of land where they could set up base for a while. But like you said, it's been an episode that's been building towards something, but it's not really been very clear as to what it's been building towards until now. I'm sure there's been loads of other Easter eggs and stuff like that as well that they've dropped in. Some of them you pick up, some of them you miss, don't you? Like, but them going to Mandalore, I've enjoyed as well. Like you say, seeing the Forge, and then there's been the Mythosaur was in a couple.
Yeah.
And that was the sign that Bo-Katan needed, that she could like rise and lead the people, the Mandalorians, again to retake Mandalore. So it's interesting to see some of that mythology coming through as well. I think that's all we've got to talk about for season 3. To be honest, this was supposed to be like 5 minutes, so I'm guessing we could probably go for another hour.
Definitely. There's a lot to talk about.
There is, but it's getting into the finale now, isn't it? So, but yeah, they start stolen all the ideas of the Mandalorians, haven't they?
I know, yeah. Well, if it works well, if it ain't broken.
That is true. God, they've got everything.
Doesn't mean they know how to use it effectively.
There he is.
No. I'm okay.
What was that?
I don't know if it was a back to spray or something. Grogu the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yes.
In IG-12.
Thank you for your help.
It is a strange thing, that. I hope they like
Brave for me.
do a bit more with it, otherwise it's just going to be a bit weird, isn't it?
Keep running.
He's still got the cord around his...
I've got the kid.
Yeah.
I'm going after
Isn't
Mom.
it funny though that like literally even the jetpacks are going to be compatible with his
We're
suit?
under attack. I have to get the troops to safety.
Understood.
Well, you think they would have decided to put some kind of security, so if you fell in battle, no one else would be able to use it?
Well, I just feel like it's, like I say, it's just weirdly compatible, like it's an identical rip-off of a Mandalorian.
No.
He's got himself a voice modulator.
No, he has to make him sound a bit more macho, doesn't he?
I like it.
Destroyed.
I love the droids in Star Wars at the minute. They're all so quirky. But presumably Moff Gideon knows exactly where they are.
That's the command center.
But yeah, because he had the view
Communications
of them
log
walking
says
around.
that's where he operates from. That's where we're going. Ready?
Think he's going to go down with his ship?
Yeah, he might do. We might assume he does, and then he appears later, later on or something.
Yeah.
Or we could do a kamikaze like the on the last Star Wars mission where she did the went to light speed and went straight through the fleet and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they're going down the same time they're coming up, I guess. So they'll...
Right for it.
There we go, yeah. So that bit in the middle where there's no comms, they've like gone past each other.
And not one collision.
Nice.
But he doesn't really have to worry about the interceptors that much, just the bombers that can do massive damage.
Oh, that is just a distraction, isn't it? It's not at all.
It's not working.
Yeah, the droid's like, he's going to be surprised when I drop everything down at once.
Mark 5. Next shield.
Yeah.
Oh, they got a
Mark
shield.
5. Next shield.
Got everything, haven't they?
Yeah, got a shield on his back. So.
So this is almost like remnant of episode 1, isn't it? Where he had to go through them shields and like how Qui-Gon ended up getting killed.
Oh, yeah. Phantom Menace.
Next shield.
Either he's been doing some really good shots in between the armour, or their armour is actually panned.
It's nowhere near as good as his, is it? His is the proper stuff.
He's going tink, 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 and there's no, it's down.
I managed to put back like five mouse droids? Oh wow.
Yeah, the mash droids, they ain't really going to do anything.
I love that. Oh no, the last one. Brilliant.
Like little police cars. It's a shame they didn't leave the assassin's droids weapons on him. Then again, Grogu might have gone crazy.
That's true. So these are clones or something, aren't they? Are they Moff Gideon clones?
Wait here.
Or do you think he's trying to give himself the Force?
I don't know, they're just like strangely reminiscent of maybe him.
Let's not get in.
So he was trying to build his own clone army
Those are his
Yeah.
clones.
of himself.
But the thing is, though, you can't really trust yourself. I mean, they'd want to be powerful as well, depending on how he's done them. But I mean, is he just creating a number of them to do experiments to see which one would be compatible with the Force, and then do it to himself?
Maybe. Don't know, yeah.
Or he could be doing a clone army himself.
So there's life on Mandalore then.
Because if the armourer dies, they're going to be screwed.
That's true.
This is like what, one of the few remaining people that understands the craft.
Yeah. It looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, this is impressive. This is really, really like. This is what you want to see, isn't it? A proper, full-scale war. Here you go. Look at them coming up as well. So we've got an aerial combat as well. This is brilliant.
You have the little smog that they come out of as well.
Yeah, you gotta love it, haven't you?
Oh, don't mess with Grogu.
No!
So Gideon's armor's obviously as well, because he says it's from the Dark Troopers. He's like got roboticness in it as well, isn't he? He's stronger.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as what died before that you saw Luke destroy. But instead of being a machine, it's like him. And then obviously it's made out of the Beskar.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Kind of guy that wants all the bits of everything. So he wants all that, and the Force, and the Darksaber.
Yeah. So that robot suit didn't last very long then. Oh, that's new.
Electro stuff. No, no.
Oh, that one's definitely dead.
You did good, kid.
What did he say?
He said you did good, kid.
I thought Grogu said something afterwards.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Oh, were you still steering?
Oh.
Bloody hell. He's broken it, hasn't he?
The Darksaber is gone. You've lost everything.
If he crashes that ship straight into that base, that's just going to give Moff Gideon another chance to, like, appear next season because, you know, he escaped or whatever.
But anyway, for them to have the sect in with them now, like he said, he doesn't follow her because of the sword or anything, just because she is, and you know. So it's getting rid of the old ways of people who will follow you only because you've got something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a seriously big explosion. I was going to say that tiny little wrist shield isn't going to do him any good, but Grogu sorted it. That's impressive, man.
Boy's got skills. You said that species really is strong with the Force, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I hope we do see his full potential, but I just can't see it being in this season. Well, sorry, this series at all. There's not enough time.
That's Paz Vizsla's son, isn't it?
It looks like it. I'm pretty sure that's the helmet we saw.
I swear on my name and the names of the ancestors.
I swear on my name.
She seems to approve.
Is the way.
This is the way.
Let it be written in song that Din Djarin is accepting this foundling as his son. You are now Din Grogu, Mandalorian apprentice.
Does that mean he's going to have to wear a helmet now?
You must leave Mandalore.
Yeah, there it is. So they're going to relight the Great Forge.
Looks like it. You definitely have to scope out the base, make sure there's no hidden surprises and everything was destroyed.
Oh yeah. So where have we gone back to here?
Republic outpost that was scouting the
Oh
area. You
yeah.
know, he's the guy from the film.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
You can see the Y bombers outside.
Do you think he's going to try and rebuild it again?
Remember, he just needs a memory chip, doesn't he? Memory core that was rare.
Yeah.
If the memory core's in the head of that.
The people of Navarro
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate all you've done, Mando. I want to give you this deed to a cabin just outside of town where you can lay low with your new family if you choose so.
I wonder if he had him reprogrammed from that other planet where all the droids were helpful.
Well,
But yeah, he's built himself a little house and everything.
this is on Navarro, isn't it?
Yeah.
He said he got like in the sand somewhere. He said, oh, it's got his lifting frogs again.
I love them frogs.
Up and over is into his mouth. What force practices have you been doing? Lifting frogs.
Yeah, well, I mean, they keep saying it's going to be a bit like a western, and I suppose that sort of was. I will say there is a lot of credits. I'm just scrolling through. There doesn't seem to be any after credit scenes.
Oh, no hints. No.
It's just. Hold on a minute. Hold on. What's that? That's nothing. No, nothing. Which is weird because I'm sure at the end of the last one, they announced the Book of Boba Fett, didn't they?
Hmm. So it's
And
not.
at the end,
Yeah. So it's not leading off to anything to do with Ahsoka or anything.
It doesn't seem to be. But he's now a proper bounty hunter, so I suppose it's always possible that Thrawn is obviously a threat to everybody. I'll leave it playing in the background anyway, just in case anything happens, but I don't think anything will. What do you think then? Where do you think it's going to go?
I don't know, but I mean, so the Mandalorians have survived. They've got the planet back. They've relit the Grey Forge. The Mythosaur that was from myth is actually still, their species is still alive, and it's awake and below the waters.
Yeah.
He's officially so he's adopted Grogu now, so there's no separating them at all now.
No.
And he's officially now going into training into be a proper Mandalorian.
Yeah. So does that mean season 4, which potentially could be the last for all we know, is just going to be him training him to the next level?
Could be slightly. It depends on the time shift as well. I mean, how much time is going to have passed?
I don't know. They've not made that clear at all.
Are the younglings going to be older? Are they going to have established more of a presence on Mandalore? And as more Mandalorians come out of the galaxy to come home?
I'm not sure, mate. I've got to be honest. It's I don't think they've announced anything at all beyond Ahsoka, and maybe there'll be hints in that as to what it'll lead into next.
Because it is an element that's actually quite interesting, and it would be good if you think about it. In the Star Wars history, either from the books or anything, you got the Old Republic. You had so much more stuff that was active and around back then, and over the time, everything's you get all the worlds keep getting destroyed, and the Mandalorians literally broken up and ragtag mercenaries. So everything seems to like how we keep going about like the technology as well seems to always kind of stay around the same or get worse.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be good, at least leading off into a new era where something at least comes back. So if the Mandalorians actually do come back into the galaxy, because it's just everything keeps getting removed.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of space for something like this to come back, isn't there?
Plenty more opportunities to build off it again.
Yeah, well, that was season 3. Moff Gideon appears to finally be dead. they've retaken Mandalore, and Din Djarin and Din Grogu are off on a different planet, living their dream.
Yeah. Until next time.
I think it's quite a satisfying ending, to be fair.
Yeah, the action scenes, like you were saying, when they were coming down through the atmosphere and they were leaving, and then they were entering the base, and the people were leaving the base. There was a lot going on, a lot of clashes, and a lot of fighting, which was pretty good.
Yeah, really good stuff. I enjoy stuff like that where it's proper action. It's nice to have the story build up and build up and build up, but then to come together in a big action scenes like that is definitely the payoff that we needed.
Definitely.